7 voices on my piano, and all of them are parted in dreams. Stephanie's looking at the looking glass, and Josephine's looking back at me. The phantoms out in the alley, talking to some girl on the street. Yeah, he seems to be confused, because he thought it was death violence. 7 voices on my piano, all of them on that scene, but none of them really me. 7 voices on my piano. You don't know about Josephine's death. Think you're talking to that fear, and maybe that makes 7 voices on my piano. It's not all you'll see. It's all part of something that should never be. 7 voices on my piano. Only told you about 3. Stephanie and Josephine and family. 7 voices on my piano, and I'm not some teen queen. 7 voices on my piano, looking in the looking glass, and none of them are me. None are me. 7 voices on my piano. I saw Josephine. 4 seconds. I'm trying to save Stephanie from being me. 7 voices on my piano, and it's not some fantasy. Looking in a looking glass, and none of them seem like me. 7 voices on my piano, and where the hell is Josephine? She's out in Ohio, trying to get clean. Coca River, it's burning for gasoline. And now that she knows, it's not the kind of scene you want to be in. If you're a human being. 7 voices on my piano, and the song's not for free. In the heart of the darkness, you're trying to find a dream. You're trying to get clean. You're trying to get on a scene. Impossible to be. You're being all 3. Where the rest of the voices? There's a story to be told. Where the rest of the voices? Maybe you'll know if you get old. You know if you get old.
This is Van Electric Ghost, and this is our continuing series of song deconstructions. We're talking about the song 7 Voices and They're Not Me, which is a song we wrote after we did some maintenance on our hardware workflow. Sometimes we take it down, all of our synths and recorders and mixers, and reinstall everything. We did this song as a test to see if we had set up everything correctly. So last night we put together this song, Seven Voices and They're Not Me. This song introduces the voice of Stephanie Ann Windhover. And Stephanie is one of the three singers in Phantom Electric Ghost. We have the Phantom, we have Josephine, who's the primary lead singer, Josephine Electric. And then Stephanie is on only one other track than this one. And then the Ghost sings, maybe 10, 12 Phantom Electric Ghost songs. We have the Ghost singing. So the idea of this band is like we have these virtual characters that I create through vocoders. And this song kind of discusses the fact that there are 7 of them, but we only name check 3 of them in this particular song. And Stephanie, again, is the lead singer on this song, and she has a different voice than what you've heard. It's a variation of Josephine's voice going through the Roland VTO3 vocal transformer. This song started with the Moog DFAM using the 2 VCOs on this modular, semi-modular analog drum machine. It has no MIDI, and so everything is done through the 8-step sequencer by changing the velocity and pitch dials per step, and also changing the VCOs and the filters and the white noise that's applied to the mix. And this song started with a DFAM beat, and then later we added on top of it an 808 variation from the JDXI run through an Arturia BeatStep Pro to extend the patterns. Through the Arturia's chain pattern capability, you can extend the JDXI's 4-part capability to be longer. So we did this song at a beats per minute, around 30 beats per minute, which we think is a good speed for sound painting, atmospheric type songs. And we've been doing it in the last year, a lot of sound paintings for the Dark Ghost project, Feelings of Love Usually Hurt, Phantom Black Night. There's a lot of projects we're working on. This particular project kind of opens up the idea that there are 7 voices that could be part of Phantom Electric Ghost, and we only name check again at 3 of them. And this is going to be the beginning of a series of songs that are going to go together, and we're going to talk about that in future episodes. Who are the other 4 characters? One of them was on our second album, Indigo Menace, and anybody who signs up for our subscription service and pays the $4.99 or $9.99 level would be able to see who that character is if they get the album Indigo Menace, which is no longer available as a download, but you can get on Amazon.com, Indigo Menace by Phantom Electric Ghost. And it's our 4th character that you could hear on that record. We, like I said, if you subscribe, you can get a copy. If you provide your address information to us, you can connect with us on our Instagram, which is expansive_sound_experiments, and send us a direct message. After you sign up, I think you can actually send us a voice memo through Anchor, where you can provide us that information through voice memo. And there are other ways to connect to us on Phantom Electric Ghost on Facebook. You can send us an instant message. You can send us a message on our SoundCloud on a particular song, and just tell us if you're a subscriber. We can link it up. We'll figure out other ways how to connect, but we are looking for fan support so that we can do more product reviews and song reviews and our series of interviews with indie artists. We are talking to Stefan Kidd, actually, again, because we had some sound issues on when we did our call last Wednesday. We got a brand new iPhone XS Max, and we interviewed Kendra Black on Friday, and that worked pretty well. So we're re-interviewing him tonight. This is Monday, and we're going to talk to him. It's October 8th at 8 p.m., and then we'll put it out on all the services. We actually had done a song with Stefan way back, and it's on one of his releases out there. And we're going to talk about collaborating with him again. And that's part of what we like to do as indie artists is talk to artists and also collab with them when we can. We've done collaborations with West Coast, EDM producer All Control K, New York City's Lonnie Claire, again, Stefan Kidd. We did another one with Metaflow, Wounded Room, and we're hoping to do something with the Bermuda soul duo, The Heritage. We're still working on that. So we're always on the lookout to do any kind of collaboration with multiple genres, introducing our expansive sound to those folks. Now, one of those things that we're talking about, like we're talking about product reviews, we have an OPZ from Teenage Engineering on order from Sweetwater that we'll get in early November. And the OPZ is a real revolution in capability. It's a micro workstation, similar to the OP1, but even smaller. The OP1 is somewhat looks like a toy, but it's not a toy. It is like a little mini workstation. Its focus is a virtual tape machine, and the virtual tape machine allows you to create, music following that tape machine, but it's not a sequencer. So the OPZ is the size of a remote, doesn't have a screen, but you can add a screen through iOS or some kind of tablet or smartphone. But you don't really need it because it's a hardware synth that's like a knob per function, button per function system that uses LED colors to show you where you are or what you're on. And it has like 4 encoders for the LFO and the envelopes that are different colors. And the LEDs like flash in different colors to tell you what things mean, and then things are symbolic, and it has shift keys to jump to other things. But it actually has a keyboard you can play chords on, even though it's very small. And it's a 16-step sequencer workstation that has sound engines you can download through iOS and samples you can bring in. You can bring in your own samples, and you can manipulate everything through the workflow. It's a Bluetooth MIDI device. It appears to have CV and has the ability to connect through audio to your mixer or to USB mixers. And it allows you to record, like bedroom record, like lying on your bed, or in an airplane seat or on a bus using Bluetooth headphones. You could record and create songs. It has a microphone built in. It's a very powerful machine. Cuckoo has an awesome 1.5 hour review of how to use it. We'll probably put a link on here to that. It's a very interesting machine, and the Bluetooth MIDI is a very interesting format. I haven't really used it yet. I'm hoping the latency isn't bad. I would like to see, and this segs into another thing, how the OPZ Bluetooth MIDI would link to the Roland AX-Edge guitar, because the Roland AX-Edge guitar has Bluetooth MIDI. And the question would be, could you pull in sounds from an OPZ into a Roland AX-Edge? Because that'd be cool, because I'm looking to integrate both of these devices to do performances with a lighter footprint in terms of travel. And the AX-Edge could go into a small road case and get on the plane with me. And the Teenage Engineering OPZ can fit in your pocket or in a little bag. It'd be easy to carry. And my Euro rack could be on a Doffer case if I had to travel. If I'm just going local, it can stay in the kind of limited case that it's like a bag that Arteria created for it. So locally, if I'm driving around, to a gig in Boston or New York, I don't need a road case for it. But the Arteria, I probably would switch to a Doffer if I'm going to go like to Burning Man, or go out and do a big show in California, or have to travel to Austin or something. The Doffer is an awesome case because it basically is a Euro rack built into an ATA flight case. So the idea is, like, if I can integrate the Axe, which, I'm going to get into the Axe now, is the Roland Axe is been brought back. It was the classic guitar for many years. There was a Moog guitar that was very interesting. It was paraphonic, and it could be used as a polyphonic synth. Very powerful synth. It's really cool. had some aspects of it that were like the Polymoog in its structure, but the Roland Axe is the preeminent guitar, and it was out of production for a long time. People were going on eBay buying the old ones, um, and now it's come back with a new four-part sound engine that's very impressive. It has a lot of power, two LFOs, multiple oscillators, all kinds of modulation options, lots of control options on the neck of this thing. They're assignable. It's a very fat sounding synth. For a digital synth, it's probably using the analog behavioral modeling technology that's in the System 8. So it seems like it's an update of System 8 and it's an update of the JDXI kind of all rolled into one as a performance synth. And one thing that I want to talk about is like, if you're a synth player, you got behind your stack, you're behind your keyboard, and you don't have the presence of a lead singer or a guitar lead player, and so it makes it hard for the audience to connect. Keith Emerson was able to kind of get around that in his dynamicism of his performances. Stevie Wonder had such a presence. Billy Joel had a presence. Elton John had a presence. People could accept him just being on the piano. Even Ben Folds has a powerful presence. But traditionally in music, when you do shows, having the lead singer being up front, a Freddie Mercury, a Prince, Bruce Springsteen, having a traditional lead singer being up front has always been something that is guitar focused traditionally. And the guitar allows a keyboard player to have that kind of connection to the audience because you can get in front of the audience and move around and they can see you. And so this Roland AX-Edge is a great thing for a lot of artists to be able to get the keyboards up front. And we've been seeing lately with the resurgence of Moog and with sequential circuits or Dave Smith's instruments, a lot of the old synths from back in the day, manufacturers are back in the front. Due to electronica and EDM, there's a lot of this electronic music overall is a big growth area and a lot of cool things happening. And another big hallmark of that is the fact that Moog is bringing back their first analog polyphonic synth in over 30 years, the Moog One, which has a lot to do with the Polymoog, which could be heard on Prince's I Want to Be Your Lover and Newman's Cars and Kraftwerk classic songs. It's a very powerful, iconic synth that was polyphonic. It was divide down technology, so it wasn't like the Memory Moog, which was a fully polyphonic system, but it wasn't up to what like the Jupiter 8 was. But it was a very awesome attempt, or it existed, but it wasn't so stable that you didn't get to hear it on as many albums as a DX7 or a Jupiter, just because the Jupiters and the DX7s and the Prophet 5s were a little more stable. But now with the modern technology, Moog feels, in my opinion, that they can build a very stable, reliable polyphonic synth. And this looks like the monster of all polyphonic synths in that it's 3 timbral. It has 3 polyphonic synth engines, 3 VCOs, 48 oscillators in unison on a 16 voice model. It is an $8,000 beast. However, this is a flagship instrument designed for keyboardists, though I'm sure that Eurorack modular synthesis would want it. But it is a keyboardist keyboard that, there haven't been a lot of great keyboards in the last 20 years created for synth players other than what you see coming from Prophet. In terms of the quality, in my opinion. I think Prophet has created very high quality synths, and Nord has too. But this is, somewhat of a custom instrument. It's a very, unique synth with a oak case and aluminum, and it just looks amazing. It looks like a reinterpretation of the Polymoog, continuation of the style done on the Voyagers. And the ability to do CV, which if we look at the DSI Prophets, they don't have that, which I thought was always a problem. I know they're great machines, but I think they should have CV interfaces. This has CV, so you could connect it to the Mother series. And just another note for those of you who say the price is too much. I mean, Moog has provided the Mother 32 and the DFAM and the Grandmother at very good price points for the bedroom, amateur home musician. This machine is geared toward professional musicians and studios, and it's also geared to anybody who's a great keyboardist that wants to have a full polyphonic keyboard. Because monophonic synths are great, but if you're a keyboard player, you want to play chords. And I think I talked about this before. Is like when you're writing a song, that's why you use a piano or use an organ to be able to get the voicings and to get the intricacies and the only thing that you can get from chord playing and playing two-handed chords on a keyboard. Create songs in a way that a guitar player plays on a real guitar. The ability to get those chords down and to get the structure of the sound down from the treble and the bass part is the hallmarks of why people use pianos to compose. And since they can do polyphony, are really integral part of songwriting. And a lot of times we've been forced to use digital synths to get that song creating, writing style, using like a Roland DI or GI or Yamaha DX7s or, chords. Not that these are bad instruments, but having an analog polyphony, having a full analog instrument that can do chords is a rare thing to have. We do have the Korg Prologue 8 and 16 voice, but this machine is a totally different animal. This machine, because of its 3 oscillators, its the ability to do 3 Trimble, which means like 3 synth engines at the same time with sequencing and modulation, 4 LFOs, 2 filters, ladder filter and multi-mode filter. Like, Moog has really put in a lot of work. And I would think the development cost of building this thing is very high. The actual quality of the materials used is super high. The build quality is this is a hand-built machine. And so in this way, you're going to have a very unique machine. And even within the range, there'll be little variations that make getting this machine very worthwhile. I think it's going to be a synth that 20, 30 years from now, people are going to be like, that's a classic, like a Jupiter, like a Prophet 5, like a Dream Machine from Yamaha. This is a great synth, like the original mini Moogs from the 70s. It's going to be iconic. It's going to be a lot of people are going to want to have this machine. So a little housekeeping again, if you want to shoot us a message, go on Anchor and do a favorite, and then you can send us a voice memo if you want to join us and give us your information. And if you want to be a co-host, you can be a co-host. And we have our first 3 albums on Amazon.com. And those who subscribe to Anchor on Anchor itself at the $4.99 and $9.99 level, we will get you one of those albums as supplies last. For those who subscribe for the year-long service, that would be great if you do that. You help us go forward with more interviews and more product reviews and more touring. So you just connect that way and send us a memo or information on your address, and we'll get that to you. So thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you later.